Woo, what a day. It is Friday, September 4th. Welcome, everybody. And it's Rod with Power Group. Hope everyone had an awesome day. I know, again, another amazing day trading. And first of all, I just want to say cheers. And I think I earned this. And if anybody here wants to join me on a beer, cheers. So before we jump into it, in today's video, we're going to talk about the bubble bursting. Did it actually burst? And what exactly we can expect in the next couple of days and into next week. It was a wild finish to the week. And I did a live stream earlier today. I had some technical difficulties, so I wasn't able to share my screen, but I do want to touch on a couple of news articles before we dive in. But before we do, make sure to like the channel if you enjoy this perspective on the market, and consider subscribing and ticking the bell. You'll be notified on any updates in the future. So I called this out. If you take a look at my channel and Google market bubble, you'll see that I basically have been predicting this, like the tech bubble. I called that the top was likely going to be around 355 or 360. We hit 358 and pulled back 6% on SPY. So what more of a heads up do you need? I think it was about a week heads up, so you can check the date on that video. But I essentially allude to the exact same thing that this analyst is talking about, is if it goes any higher, it's just resembling the 1920s, which was the Great Depression, and the 1990s. So, and another thing to be aware of is that there's a 90-day cycle. So back in the Great Depression to today is 90 days. So if you believe in super cycles, you can give that a Google. But a lot of people are saying, you can see here, they're covering, CNBC's covering this, that it's going to be a K-shaped recovery. So, you know, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and it's heading kind of like that. And I don't foresee that stopping anytime soon, because if the dollar remains weak, well, the dollar did get a bounce going, but if it remains weak, the rich are just going to keep pumping up assets and the housing bubble even more until this thing eventually pops. So it's cool to see that they were basically on the same flow state as me on that. So before we jump into the video, I do want to recap just what happened earlier in the day in SPY. So to begin the day, I had some short positions overnight. I swung the inverse ETF, so FNGD, which is the FANG 3X leverage. So Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. And I swung that overnight and I made huge gains on it. And I covered my QQQ short. So I had SQQQ, SPXS, and I covered those into the beginning of the day. So I covered it right around the open. So I covered it right here at around the 346 level. And then we topped out at 347. I was tempted to reshort there, but I wasn't exactly confident yet. I didn't have enough data to go off of. I was looking for a 5-minute trend change, and then we got it. So as soon as we hit this lower high here we had a high of 344.71. As soon as we lost this low here of 343.06, I was back in short, and I shorted that like there was no tomorrow. And absolutely the best trading day in my career was yesterday, and today was probably the second best, but I flipped long. I knew there was a gap to fill on SPY, and I knew we were probably heading to oversold conditions on the 4-hour. I knew there was a gap to fill at 339. So when I covered my short, in the 339s, and then I scaled in a position in 3 positions. So I scaled in on SPY at 339 with a gap fill, another one at 337, and another one at 335, because I knew that was the last daily higher low. So if bulls were going to get aggressive, I knew that that was a potentially good trade, and it ended up being absolutely bang on. So I had an average of about 355.50, and it was, 357.50, and it was off the races after that. So I'll show you just a quick screenshot here. So I sold this morning. This was yesterday. I bought FNGD at 934. I actually bought it at 777. I sold it around the $9 mark, and then I rebought it again. I didn't have the screenshot for that one, but I did buy it at 775 and made about 15%. And then I got back in yesterday, late in the day, and you can see here that I sold it for 969. And then I bought it again for 913, and then not even 10 minutes later, I sold it for 965. obviously I blurred out the quantity there, but hands down 5 figures profit on that trade alone. And oh my God, the volatility was crazy today. So let me know in the comments below if you had a great day. Let me know if it was a good day, a bad day. Did you enjoy the volatility? I'd love to hear from you. Let me know. So then I also entered SQQQ yesterday, buy, which is short QQQ. I bought a little bit in some Canadian funds on the TSX, on the Bear Inverse ETF there for SPY. Then I bought SPXS. So I bought that just 1 minute before the close. And then today I bought that at market. It doesn't actually show the fill price. Okay, no worries. So anyways, I bought SQQQ at 22.64, sold it at 23, rebought at 22.45, sold it again at 23.161. And then what I did is I went long SPY. So you can see here, SPY, this is just one order, but I went long SPY at 337, sold at 341. I also had a position at 335. I also had a position at 337, like I said, and 339 when we hit the gap fill. And I actually rebought it a couple more times for a flip. I sold it around 345. So I can't remember the last time I had a losing trade, honestly. It's been a long time. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks, but I've been on a hot streak for the last couple of weeks. And I did call out in the market today, or in the community today. I said, everyone be cautious toward the end of the day. I expect some selling pressure, and because of the speed of the drop, it was a little worrisome, and the recovery today wasn't very impressive. And what I suspected would happen was that they would run SPY and QQQ into the end of the day, and then we'd see a little bit of a sell-off and a little bit of indecision toward the end of the day. I wasn't exactly sure. I didn't know if they were going to sell it off and then spike it up to at 350 when the bots kicked in. I wasn't sure if they were going to kick it into high gear there and start buying. But as we can see toward the end of the day, that's exactly what happened. They ramped it up into the end of the day, and then they scared people. What I think they were doing is scaring people into selling here. And I called that out in the community, and that was at 2:47 p.m. So you can see it was well in advance, and I suspected that was going to happen, and they just took advantage. That people didn't want to hold over the weekend after the last roller coaster of the last 2 trading days. So most people got scared, and guaranteed they likely sold their shares, and we're probably going to go up on Monday is what I would expect. Again, I'm not trying to call the future. This isn't financial advice. This is just strictly for educational purposes. But that's what, if I was a money manager, or if I was a hedge fund or a big, institution who's looking to pawn this off on retail, that's exactly what I would do. So yeah, absolutely incredible. You can see here, I didn't trade in Q1 because I was on a trip to India, and I didn't trade. I just wasn't comfortable. We were at all-time highs. The fear and greed index was at like 98, extreme greed. So I didn't trade at all. And then you can see here in Q2, that was mostly longs, right? Because we dumped so low in March due to the sickness and the pandemic. So that I made about 30% in my portfolio. These are 2 accounts. One's an RSP, one's a TFSA. 30% in one and about 27% in the other. Just last month, and you should see my numbers for this month. It hasn't updated yet. I can't show it to you, but I'll show it eventually. But it's just been absolutely. I'd say it's up over 30 or 35 or 40, and yeah, it's just a little bit of a delay on that. But I thought that was cool. I thought I'd share that with you guys. I mean, I'll share some bad trades as well once I have them, but it's been a while. Not gonna lie. So moving on, where are we at next? I'm jacked up today, guys, in case you haven't noticed. We also had a 4-hour bear flag. That's what I wanted to mention on SPY. So we had a 4-hour bear flag right here to start the day. We had a 5-minute bear flag. The 5-minute bear flag confirmed. Then we had a 4-minute bear flag, 4-hour bear flag confirmed, and we tested 4-hour oversold. We haven't done that since June on SPY. And taking a look at QQQ on the 4-hour, it hit 4-hour oversold. That was the first time QQQ hit 4-hour oversold since March. So I was confident going long SPY. I was confident covering my shorts. I knew that the selling was probably done for the rest of the day, at least the major selling. And I knew any bounce was just going to be a lower high, right? So I was quite comfortable going long. We had support on SPY at 335. We hit 334 or 88. So it was just all systems go. QQQ well oversold on the 4 hour. That was a buy the dip opportunity for me. I'm swinging some short positions. I'm hedging my SPY long with some SQQQ shorts and a 3x leverage ETN for the FANGs, and I'm long SPY, and we'll see. I'll give it some thought over the weekend. I'll let you know what my plans are to begin the week, but essentially I'm going to look to cover my shorts. If we gap down open, I'll cover my shorts, take the gain, ride the long, but again, I'm not 100% sure where this is going to go into next week. I'd like to see how things shake out this weekend. I'm about 50% in cash. I definitely think this market's going to go up. If you look at the Elliott waves, it could be a wave 4, so we could see a wave 5 to all-time highs again, and potentially set that wave 5 and then an ABC correction into a monthly downtrend. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a monthly higher low and lower high and a tightening range into the end of the year, and then potentially look to find how we break that equilibrium. I'm leaning bearish for sure. We're still outside of the monthly Bollinger Bands on QQQ. SPY, we just came within it. So we'll play it by ear next week, but tune in, subscribe to the channel, and you'll hear on my next update. Next, the DXY. So I did want to highlight the dollar. So another reason why I was confident entering, we had a 5-minute bearish divergence happening on DXY today. So going back to the beginning of the day, you can see here we were going higher. This is what gave me confidence to enter SPY long. And again, if you join a community, you can check out our 7-day free trial. You would have all access to this knowledge through the community. We work together to beat the markets, and the more eyes you have on the market, the better. So you can see here we were trending down with lower highs and lower lows on the 5-minute, and we were trending up higher on the price action, higher highs and higher lows. So I knew that this was going to end badly, and I covered my short, went long SPY, and the rest is history. You can see here that it actually played out super well. We held EMA 12 as the resistance, so I was just watching that as a visual guide all day. And then, like I said, I was able to use that as an early indicator. And there's so many different things to be watching. But again, when you're in a community, benefits of having other people helping you out and watching you on that. So we were in a 5-minute uptrend on SPY. One last thing I did want to highlight was we were in a 5-minute uptrend from the lows. So you can see here we had a 5-minute higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We were in a 15-minute uptrend, and toward the end of the day, we had a higher low every single candle. I think it was for about 8 candles. So as soon as that pattern broke, so 11 candle, no, sorry, it was from here to here. So that was for 10 candles. So I entered on that one, and I entered a short here once we broke down from that pattern. And then I entered another short down here when we lost EMAs and we rejected, entered another short here, and then covered down here at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. And that's when I covered my short and went long. And like I said, still holding a little bit of short, mostly cash into the weekend. I have a SPY long, so I did buy SPY toward the end of the day. So again, check in with me on Monday, and we will give you an update on where we expect the market to go. If you have any questions or comments, again, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And if you have a ticker or anything you would like covered, be sure to leave it in the comments below, and we'll do our best to get that as soon as possible. So take care, everyone. Have a fantastic long weekend. If you're in Canada, I'm going to be taking a much needed break. So I should probably get a video out on Monday regardless, but if not, I will talk to you on Tuesday. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next week.